Hello and welcome to all my viewers. I am Zhen, and this is Pillars of Eternity. To all my gamers watching, I say unto you, good luck, have fun, and don't die. So, my last attempt at recording this, I had my mic muted, which went well. I'll be playing on normal mode for this. Nothing serious. I don't trust myself to play The Trial of Iron or Path of the Damned. I don't even think I'd trust myself playing hard mode yet. I don't think I really get this game enough to play hard mode. Although if I tried, I'm sure I'd do fine, I guess. Loading screens. I'll probably be skipping through them unless I happen to be speaking through them. But they usually do have some pretty good tips.
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
So, a typical start to an adventure. If you've ever played something like Dungeons and Dragons, it goes something like this. You're somewhere, you have to find or fight your way out. But it's a pretty typical adventure start. I will be playing a male. There are 6 races, each of them increase your stats a little bit. For this one, I will be playing the Orlan, but there are humans, a Mawa, dwarf. The Mountain kind of look like the people from Avatar, like the big blue cat people. There are the elves, and my personal favorite are the godlike. But I do like the Orlan the most for the character that I'll be building. Each race has their sub races, which bring their own passive effect. Like Wild Orlan is different from the Hearth Orlan. For the Hearth Orlan, which is what I'll be doing here, when attacking any teammate that is also being targeted by a teammate. When attacking any target, I do that every time. When attacking any teammate, that's what I say, and I have no idea why. Some of their hits turn into crits, so it's pretty useful. There are 11 classes. Each of them start with their own ability, increase your skills a little bit, and unlike in other games where your health is based off your constitution, your health is based off your class mostly. Yeah. It's based off your class plus your class and your level. So is your accuracy and your deflection. Deflection is defense that helps you against single target attacks. Paladins start with faith and conviction, just increases all my defenses. And if I follow their favored conviction, which is determined upon what order I choose, you'll see for the Shield Bearers of St. Elko, which is what I'll be choosing, favored dispositions are honest and diplomatic, while I will have to try to avoid the cruel and aggressive, which is usually what I do in games. I am usually like a rogue or a wizard that is like, kill you, kill you, kill you, kill that child, maybe kill that dog. I am awful in games like this. I'm more like the antagonist than I am the protagonist. So I will be going the Saint Bearers of St. Elka for a change of pace. Also because the Paladin orders do give you different effects later on. Like, if you choose the Bleak Walkers, you'll get different skills than you would a sealed bearer. And then all the classes get another starting ability. Lay on hands is a heal. Even though I will be doing a tank, I don't think I'll be starting with that right off. So I will be choosing the Flames of Devotion, which is an attack that I can do twice per encounter. And onto the stats. Might increases your damage or healing, as well as your Fortitude, which increases your defense against stuff like poisons, diseases. Constitution increases your endurance and your health, as well as your Fortitude. Dexterity increases your attack speed, and your Reflex, which is your defense against AoE attacks. Perception increases your interrupt, which increases the chance to delay an opponent's attack while they're charging it up, as well as your deflection. I did go over deflection, right? I think I did, yeah. Intellect increases the area effect of abilities and the duration of abilities, and increases your will, which is your defense against stuff like Charmed, Frighten, Confusion. Resolve increases your concentration, which is your defense against interruption, as well as your deflection and your will. Since I'm a tank, I won't be needing a lot of might, so I'm bringing that down to 6. Constitution, like I said, is mostly based off of your class, so I will be keeping it at 10. As a tank, I don't need attack speed that much. Perception is what I like. Perception and Resolve increase your deflection, which is what you'll need to be a tank, really. So I'm bringing that up as high as I can. Resolve, also bringing that up as high as I can because it increases my will, or my deflection. And my intellect, I'm bringing up as high as I can as well. Because I do get ores as a paladin, and intellect will increase the area of effect of the ores, I'm pretty sure. And next you'll get cultures, which determine your starting equipment and can increase, and they do increase one of your stats a little bit. I will be starting as ADer for this to bring my resolve up to 20 as to make it match my perception. And then your background, which increases usually 2 of your skills, but some of them, like the colonist, increase 1 by 2. The skills are survival, which increases the effect and duration of food and potions you find. Lore, which lets you use scrolls. Stealth, which helps prevent you from being seen while you're in scouting mode. And athletics, which decreases your chance of becoming fatigued. Fatigue is a debuff that decreases all of your defenses, your accuracy, and your maximum endurance. You saw earlier that there was a difference between endurance and health. Endurance is your health in combat. If you run out of endurance, you get knocked out. If you run out of health, you will permanently die. Unless you turn on the option that says maim companions before death, which means that you will be maimed, which I think might be a permanent debuff that is kind of like fatigue. But after that, if you're maimed and you go to 0 health, you will die. Mechanics is basically your lock picking and your chance to disable traps, as well as locate traps and find hidden objects. And that's all the skills. Certain classes and races have different backgrounds you can choose. I usually choose merchant or laborer. Typically I choose laborer, but for this particular one I will be choosing merchant, since my paladin class does increase my athletics by 2. So I don't need laborer as much. So I will be choosing merchant to start. And here you can customize your customize your character's appearance a little bit, but for the most part, I like how this one looks. So I will just go on to choosing an icon. There are both male and female icons, but I think the only icon they have for the male of the Hearth Orlan is this one. The other one's the Wild Orlan, so I'll be going for this oh geez, this portrait. And next is the voice.
Leading the way. Ha! The better part of valor.
I will be choosing the noble because paladin. And then the name, Zhen. Accept, and we are done. Ah, good. Sometimes I get this bug where the game will pause right as soon as the game starts. I just have to minimize the window to stop that, or rather to make the game unpause, but otherwise it won't unpause, which is unfortunate. For dialogue that doesn't have a voiceover, I typically will be doing the voiceover for that, but for ones that do have voiceover, well, they already have voices. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there. Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood? Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, of course. In which case you'll be dead in a day.
Well, that sounds promising. Well, at least water is easy to come by, I guess. Maybe. We should have brought some along with us, right?
There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry, about the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water.
Okay.
I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Sparfle. Okay. Where would I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
Okay, what are those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
So who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Is it dangerous out here?
Not if you hurry about your business,
Sounds promising.
and not if the weather holds up.
What kind of weather do they get out here?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
Okay. Now that you've said that, we all know that we're going to encounter a Bewick. That sounds like fun. Okay, so what are the huge rocks coming up out of the ground?
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days.
So the rocks are alive?
The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
That sounds positively terrifying.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
Once again, sounds promising.
Kalisha. Kalisha! He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
I'm not too certain about this woman being my companion.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her, you're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a Beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
Okay.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Whippity-boody. You
I'm
can
here.
click and drag to make a box that can select other, certain allies. You can also
Indeed.
press backspace to select all of them. The default to objects that you can interact with is tab. Most of the time you have to hold it down, but I do have it set, so I just have to press tab once and all of this that I can interact with will appear. Okay, you'll see this glowing blue box. Blue means you can open it or look inside it. You'll see it requires mechanics to open, or some mechanics in a lockpick.
I'll have this open in no time. It's
Because
done.
I have mechanics, I can open it, which is good. Potion of minor endurance. Okay, probably heals my endurance. And this one holds clothing that does nothing to increase my damage reduction. Good to know. Okay. I always start with these 4 items: the giant miniature space piglet, the tiny obsidian worm, and a cloak of the obsidian order, as well as the Gon's pledge ring. Which, it doesn't say it here, but if you equip it, it'll let you do a skill in combat that lets you heal your endurance. I'm not sure if it's twice per encounter or twice per rest, but either way, it's good to have healing. But it only does heal the person that it's equipped on. You'll see this glowing thing here. That's something that I can harvest. The glowing things are always plants. The magnifying glass, it'll just let you look at things. The falling tree won't budge. Sap oozes from the jagged
Not looking
trunk in
forward
its
to trying to
wound.
lift that thing tomorrow.
The jagged trunk in its wound. Wow, I am on a roll today. Okay, is there anything else back at camp that I can look at? There is. I can look at the Adra. The tall glass green pillars appear as if they have sprouted from the earth. The flickering fire sets shadows dancing within. Okay. Random NPCs. Blue box. Blue box. What do you contain? Minor regeneration.
Anyone
Okay.
need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
Let's talk to Hayden. You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered by uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to saving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Who are you?
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
Okay, I have the option turned on that lets me see what options in combat will increase which disposition. So this will increase passionate, this will increase clever, and this will increase cruel. I do not want to choose this. Because my faith and conviction ability, if I increase my favored dispositions, I get increased defenses. If I increase my disfavored dispositions, I will decrease my defenses, which is generally a bad thing. So I think it's honest and diplomatic I want to choose, and cruel and aggressive I want to avoid. So I can, with an outlook like that, I'm sure you do well. Well, I suppose. We'll see, I suppose. I'm just trying to do right by my family.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Tell me about the Adir Empire. I'm from the Adir Empire. Why would I need him to...
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include Raed Ceres and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire. A fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
Okay, why do you move all the way out here?
Because it seemed friendlier than Raed Ceres? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
Oh, Deerwood is a former Adir colony, so it seems like a good place to start. And as much as I admire the Raid Saren's work ethic, they've always struck me as a little fanatical. Well, it's high-minded of you. Not at all, just doing my part. Let's see what you've... Whoop. Okay, I did choose the right option. Yay! Crossbow, weapons, rapier. Ooh. Shields, armor, regeneration, lockpicks. You don't have anything I really want. Let's look around, see if I can't collect more plants or something. Okay, that just brings me back down there. Unfortunately, there is no option that makes the screen follow your characters. I've tried. I've wanted to look for a mod for it, but I've yet to find one, although I didn't really look very hard. Let's talk to Sparfle. You're supposed to be getting me water.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
Why, thank you, Sparfle. I don't know what I would do without you. The path winds through a narrow canyon, back the way you came, groups on the road.
Shouldn't stray too far.
Okay, so back the way we came. Do not want to go that way. Let's go over here.
Let's check by those outcroppings.
Deer and a young wolf. So as you can see, I have the auto pause option on. That'll let me automatically pause at the start of combat. Knockdown knocks an enemy prone as well as do damage. And Flames of Devotion. Oh, I think I actually clicked the ground with that. Yep, okay.
Let's check by those outcroppings.
Forward, my minions! Kill the wolf.
Onward!
I do not do very much damage. Oh, well, that's fine. I don't need to do damage. I'm a tank!
Indeed.
Woo! That deer. That poor deer. Look at that!
This is it.
How far was this thing dragged? So this is the spring berries? Oh, this entire thing never has voiceovers for me, which is kind of unfortunate. Odima said something about you being in business for yourself. I used to transport things people wanted to keep kept. I used to transport things people wanted kept secret. Goods, people. I piloted cargo ships. I ran a shop. That isn't your business. Let's go with this. Used to transport things people want kept secret. Yeah, how is it that you happen to come here? A competitor sold me out to the authorities. I was tricked into transporting something I never would have agreed to. I got double-crossed while doing a deal. Okay. I was tricked into transporting something I never would have agreed to. Hazard of the lifestyle, I suppose. You have to expect that it was a possibility. No matter how much you didn't want it to be that way. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Raedrick's offer makes the girl think, I'll give him that. We're here to settle like the rest of the lot? I haven't given him a thought. No harm in that, might as well see the place first. So you must have some other plan in mind for coming this way. I hope to meet someone and fall in love. Probably the same thing as I did before. Looking for some adventure, getting into trouble, find new friends. I have no idea what I'm going to do next. Completely spontaneous, huh? Interesting. Well, there's probably no hurry to make up your mind. I've got an inn in Gilded Vale that'll put you up as long as you need. Or so my sister tells me. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odima will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. Why are you here, Kalisa? My sister moved out here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried, but that's how she always is. This time though, she asked me to come out, and that's got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages. Been doing guide work in Ixamitil. I have yet to figure out how to say that word. Ixamitil, Ixamitil. I don't know. But I'd do anything for her. She's a much better woman than me. So I'm here and we'll see. Odima I've worked with before. He doesn't usually drive a route this way, but he's doing it for me. Tell me about yourself. I've got simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I find work that lets me live that way. Okay. My family wanders too. We started in Deerwood, but my parents ended up in the Living Lands. I've got a brother in Rawatai and another in Adir. Oh, geez, that must be awful. Family reunions. My sister in Gilded Vale. She's the only real homebody. What can you tell me about Deerwood? I'm not much for history, but from what I know, it used to be part of the Adir Empire. Broke off after a war some years back. The locals here are feisty, and that's how they like it. I've been out of touch, but I've been hearing weird things about it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. Been going on for years now, but somehow it's getting worse. I'll have to ask my sister more about it. Okay, let's get back to camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath that Sparfle's getting you water anytime soon. Really now? He does what he feels like, when he feels like it. We should check up on him first. Slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get you your water. Okay. I think that may be a good place to stop for now. I guess. Yeah, I guess it's a good place to stop. So I'll see you all next time.